Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Trust in Masai. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Reis. And who, sir, are you?
I am your producer, Matt Duncan. I am here north of the city, rocking down the GTA. What's going on, Fred?
Not much. I'm always happy to know your geographical location. I'm doing good. I'm in the High Park area for anyone wondering.
Sick. My old hood.
Damn right. We are a Raptors podcast. We're hardcore fans. We're also, I guess, semi-analysts. We have comedians on, cool people, sometimes analysts as well. And we talk NBA. We're basically just we're not so fans, and we run a fun pod here. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out.
Yeah.
Maddie, if people, they want to follow us, help us, make us like, Joe Rogan style, Radio style, rich. Like, how do we do that? Do that?
Lots of ways. You can start at dunkspodcast.com. That's our own website where we have all our episodes and our links for everything, as well as the sonarnetwork.com. That is the podcast network we are part of. We've got links for that as well, where you can, click on the guest names. You can see what other episodes they've been in. It's great. As well, like a lot of great podcasts that you can listen to on the network. There's always new ones being added. It's fantastic. We've got our Patreon up. We are in Canadian bucks now, so it's more affordable. You don't have to worry about that American conversion stuff now. Okay, let's just try and keep it into the Canadian bucks. And as well, like we're selling the hats still on Patreon. So if you want to get in contact with us, we can get you one of those pronto, because it is getting cold out there. The furnace in this house has been getting all out of whack. We've had we've been playing furnace filter roulette in this place, and if you got an old, I'll just give you a little side tip, everyone. If you're renting a place or you have a place with an old furnace, don't get a filter that is or super high level of filtration. If it's too thick, the thing's gonna rumble and get pissed off. So. Lesson learned. Don't want anyone going out without heat for the winter. So fair enough. And I just want to say thanks to the new subscribers on the YouTube. We do put the episodes up the day of. They, don't come out the same time as the podcatchers, because I got to do a little bit of editing and whatnot on the video. But some people seem to like it. So thanks for watching and subscribing. And, if you like it, please subscribe and write a comment. Let us know what you think. And that's my spiel.
Hey, it's a good spiel, Maddie. I always appreciate you hitting folks with the details. And thanks for everyone who's listening, all the commenting. Please come for the Raptors takes, and stay for Maddie D's furnace updates. We hope that everything will remain safe, regardless of the filter. But you'll keep us locked in with that.
I will.
Today's an awesome episode. We have Graham K, who's hilarious. I think I got his credits mostly right. I perhaps left out the Maryland Dennis appearance. Shame on me. Just as a Canadian. We all love Maryland. Roger, Rick, and Maryland.
Who can forget Roger, Rick?
Graham didn't seem to know that, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
We got Daniel Reis on, family connection with Ites Elisa Nobrega, who's my sister-in-law. As well as he's with the Criterion Collection. Really cool dude. They're both in New York. Both went to the Raptors Knicks game. So that was fun. They tell us a little bit about Bing Bong.
They kept interrupting each other. They kept interrupting and being like, "I'm walking here." No, I'm walking here.
Yeah. There's a lot of "I'm walking here" style comedy, which was great. Which was great.
I'm sure they love that in New York, right? I'm sure strangers just come out to people.
Oh,
say,
I
I'm
100%.
walking
I
here.
went to the National History Museum when I was in New York, and I just said I'm walking here to different, pieces of art, and it was weird, But yeah, I mean, we talk Raptors, we talk impressive guys, we talk new franchises. It's a question I always love. Weird, funky teams that are surprising us, and yeah, I mean, I think we do quickish questions too. It's a fun time in general. But Maddie, I want to throw to you because I feel like you have a recommendation, a Maddie D recommendation you want to share with everyone.
Yeah, it's sports related a little bit, social justice related. And, I may or may not have done the subtitles for it, but Colin Kaepernick's new show is
Hey.
out called Colin in Black and White. It's on Netflix. And it's a great, like, 6-episode show just about his life and to see what he's gone through to get to obviously, what happened to him in the NFL. But mainly just like, I think it really helps people that don't understand how the microaggressions affect Black people and what they've gone through and are still going through today, where I think a lot of people are like, hey, it's gotten so much better, I don't know what their problem is. It's like, well, actually, I feel like this show really explains well to people that it's in a lot of ways really dumbed down for white people to be like, this is what's going on. So I just think that it's a we're obviously pro cap on this podcast and Black Lives Matter. And I think it'd be a really good show for people to watch and just to kind of understand better what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, a Maddie D recommendation is always a good one. And I think, for people looking to further, educate themselves, understand things like, microaggressions and anti-Black racism and, just it's always okay to listen and to learn and to kind of gather more information, as an ally. It's not your duty to kind of like perform what you've learned all the time. So it's a good space, like there's a lot of different places, such as this doc, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reco.
Yeah.
And I feel
produced by Ava DuVernay as well, who like did Selma and
cool.
When They See Us, which was the show about the Central Park 5. And,
amazing.
Which is another good show to watch if you haven't seen it. But I highly recommend.
Well, I mean, it's a
and turn on the titles. Let me know I did.
Yeah, side note, Maddie D did the subtitling. Let him know if he messed up any of the. If you can read everything, like if the timing's right, all that, like
there was a lot of music. I gotta say, there was a lot of music. So
big stakes for Maddie D in his subtitling job there. But I think we're ready to go. So, but right before we launch in, I will say, as I always do, Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, defund the police, and email your city councilors. We got a big Ontario election coming up, so make sure your voice is heard and make sure you know who you're voting for and why. And with that said, Maddie D, if we're good to get rolling here, give me those deliciously gorgeous words. Okay. Okay, here we go. 7 games into the season. We're going to record tonight. The Raptors are playing the Washington Wizards, game 8. Let's just get this episode popping. 2 of my, favorite guests on. Let's start with number 1. I know him. Well, there's a family connection. He's related to Elisa. He grew up. There's a Brazilian family connection. He's also a video editor at the Criterion Collection. So that's probably why, he's up there as far as like one of the cooler people who does this pod. But honestly, lots of cool people. I'm probably the least cool person. Anyways, meandering intro aside, give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Daniel Reis.
I should also say happy birthday to Elisa. Is it not her birthday today?
It is. Today is Elisa's birthday. My wife's going out with her.
Great.
I'm going to watch the game with her husband, my brother, Miguel.
Yes. Well, I hope they played my intro music rather than sing Happy Birthday. I mean, it's easier to license, I think.
I think that's the plan. Yeah, I think the plan is let's play Daniel Reis's intro music to Freddie's podcast on Elise's birthday. Like, you know, with the pandemic kind of hopefully fizzling to an end, that I think people really want to make sure they're like paying homage to this pod, you know?
Totally.
What's up, buddy? Thanks for doing the pod.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I basically bullied my way onto this week's episode, so.
Yeah, you definitely like people who listen to this pod and they know you are the bullying type, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like you shake down people and force your way on. No, I'm happy to have you. You're in New York. You're in Brooklyn. This other guest is also in Brooklyn. So I know that. Wait, did you go to the game, the Raptors Knicks game?
I was at the game on Monday night. Yes.
Amazing. So I think this guest also went to the game. So we have like two firsthand accounts. Yeah, it's really good. You know, hardcore Raptors fans in New York, you love to see it. I've messed this up before. I'll mess it up again. But I'm pretty sure he was on Fallon. I'm pretty sure he was on Colbert. He's probably, you know, on other cool things, and I'm somehow messing this all up again. But he'll let me know. He's a great guy. He's hilarious. You know, I'll make sure he plugs some shit for you. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Graham K.
Thank you. Yeah, you totally messed it up, man.
Did I really?
Yeah, you forgot a big one.
Is it Conan?
I was on Maryland Dennis, bro.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
My bad.
You know, all right,
I
hustle for my achievements.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to Miss Dennis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the Dennis family.
She's a Canadian institution, for God's sakes.
She's the
for
Fraser
sure.
Crane of Canada, for sure, right?
That's right.
Oh my goodness, she's listening.
Oh yeah. You know, she
What are-
bowls
what
she
are
bowls a
some-
perfect game. I'm sorry.
What are some good looks for fall? I don't know.
Yeah, you find that on the old Dennis beat. Is that her show? It's like the Dennis beat? No.
Called the Maryland Dennis Show.
Yeah, you know what?
Dennis beat.
I'm disrespecting the shit out of Marilyn Dennis. I'm so sorry. I love all, you know, big Canadian figures. Shout out David Suzuki. My bad.
What if Ellen had no charisma? That's the question CTV asked themselves.
Yeah.
And they went for it.
Hey.
So you're saying Roger and Rick is where the charisma really comes in? She was just coasting on Roger and Rick.
Yeah, I don't get the reference, but yes.
Oh, she had a radio show, a morning radio show. Roger, Rick, and Marilyn. She was she was the.
I mean, but they
Marilyn.
substituted some other names in there for a bit.
Yeah, now I think it's just her, some other guy. I haven't lived in Toronto a while, but I saw on a billboard it's her and a much younger person, doing the morning show drive time stuff.
Well, I'm sure she's carrying them. And you know what? You guys are gonna carry me. All the Dennis fans that listen to the show, the Dennis
D heads,
the D heads, the Dennis
Yeah.
beaters.
D-bags.
My bad. The D bags, all the
Yeah.
D bags that are checking in on my pod, as
Mhm.
well as of course Maryland's pod. Apologies to you, Maddie. Let's get this baby going. Would you please, sir, fire up your most delicious, weird audiophile sounding Raptors sting. All right, let's go to you first, Graham. And I guess this is sort of an open-ended question, just to talk about, like, you know, the vibes of this season in general. But I don't know if he's ever come out and said this, but I've always kind of thought that Masai has been trying to do this dance, like even back to, you know, his, I guess, shorter time with the Nuggets, of trying to win and trying to develop, and kind of trying to do both at the same time. You know, sometimes it's like much more win, you know, championship year versus develop, you know, I guess Tampa. This year, I'm trying to figure out what the equation is. Like, you know, if they're like, not necessarily what he's intending, like what you, Graham, what you think, like this year's is about, you know, 10% winning, 90% development. whatever. Like, so just kind of take that idea and go with it.
Well, it's not the process for sure. It's the process. That's what he
Okay.
does.
I like that.
It is a try and win. They're like the only team I know of that's not afraid of hanging around the 10th seed, rather than tanking, and they know that they have the development to actually pull it off, and it works, I guess. And I would say that going into this season, if I had to guess what percentage Masai was putting on it, it would be 30% win, maybe 40% win, 60%. Let's try and get a top 10 draft pick, and then we can add to this nucleus. But I mean, I even though he's very, very good at drafting and development, he has to also be surprised with how well Scotty Barnes is doing, Banton's doing. I mean, like Svi, like everything is working out. I can't remember watching a sports team where like every single signing was like bang, bang, bang. Like okay, Precious is regressing all of a sudden, but it's fine because he got Cam Birch. You know, it's like you got Svi. You know, everyone's interchangeable. This is the sort of like weird alchemy that is coming to fruition, where okay, a center goes down, so we're in a shooting guard, and it doesn't matter because everyone's 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
So like, I would say, this is a long-winded way of saying that after what are we, 7 games in, I'm going to put it at a 55-45 win 55.
Okay. I totally agree with everything, and so many good points. And you know, it's not a topic, but I think the Precious maybe, you know, not being ready for starter minutes and Ken Birch slotting in. Yeah, I think that's kind of going to be part of this year, or is these weird kind of like stutter moments. And I totally agree. I feel like 30-60 going in, 55-45 now, and weird alchemy is right. And also, you know, being surprised is right. I think it's like, well, I don't know, I'm going to butcher the saying, but it's like you got to be good to be lucky, or whatever that is. I feel like
lucky to be good.
Yeah, that's right. You got to be lucky to be good. Like, I think Masai, you know, with Banton, with Scotty, it's kind of like this belief of like, I know what I'm doing. I traded, you know, Trent for Norm, and you can slam me on that, but Trent's younger. He can play D. Like, yeah, he can't pass for shit, but like, don't worry, we'll figure out the weird alchemy. I think is really what hits for me. I want to go to you, Daniel. What's your take on like, the weird alchemy of this team?
Well, I think that we're in a great position in which developing and winning so far has not been mutually exclusive in the way that it is for a lot of other teams. Like Graham mentioned the process earlier, or other teams that, you know, try very deliberately to tank, and they see it as a total binary. Like, you're either developing or you're winning. But I think that right now what we've seen is that we're lucky in that developing is winning. And who knows if that's just a honeymoon phase with how much Scotty has surprised us and all of the other players that we picked up. But I think like this might be a cop-out answer, but I think developing is winning for us right now. And we're just lucky that we haven't, you know, it hasn't been just one or the other.
Right. And I think like the overall kind of strategy and depth is what's making that work. Like, you know, even with Banton, yeah, first couple times he's out, he's just surprising the world, and everyone's like, what do we even do with this guy? I feel like, you know, maybe it's just a glimpse, but I saw a little bit in New York. They were like, well, you know what? We have some length. This guy's not going to bother us too much. In comes Malachi. He's hungry at this point. He can kind of do a little bit of different stuff than Banton. Banton maybe is going to sit down for a little bit, think about like, okay, wait a second. Like, if I'm really a non-threat from 3, then teams are going to start to adjust. I'm sure that will, you know, I'm sure the bar for that's much higher for Scotty, but I feel like he's a guy at some point, if he, he's not just gonna surprise the whole league the whole year. I mean, maybe he will. Maybe he just has a rookie of the year season where it's like he's so good that it takes all the way until the second year for the league to adjust. Like that might happen. But I do feel like there might even be a couple times where Scotty's like, where teams are like, all right, we got to let this guy shoot because he's hurting us too much. And then, that takes away some of his effectiveness. But I think Graham kind of gave away my answer here with just like, and I'll spoil it. It's Svi for me. And I can elaborate if it's not for you guys, but let's go to you first, Daniel. Who's the guy, like, who's the Raptor that's impressing you the most?
So, I mean, this could just be recency bias, that the fact that we just saw him on Monday, go for a career high with OG. And it's, for me, it's not just the amount of points, but seeing it, especially in the building heat, it just seemed like he wanted it really bad. He was going, like, sometimes it felt for like second and third chance opportunities. He was aggressive, not just in the sense that, it made me reconsider what aggressiveness can mean. It's not always being fast or taking the first opportunity you see. I was listening to William Liu's show this morning, and he talked about how OG now has certain moments of patience where he maybe lets a defender on the opposite team, exit the lane before he makes an attack, like a secondary defender, so that there is no help. And that's when he would make his drive against his primary defender. And so the aggressiveness is not just like, pure athleticism, pure speed, anything like that. It's also like picking and choosing his spots. It just felt like on Monday, his spots were everywhere. Like it was pick and roll, going for an alley-oop dunk, which you don't really see OG put in that position a lot. It was, sidestep back threes near the very edge of the court. It was all sorts of shots from everywhere. And it just seemed like he really, really wanted it that night.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to OG. I feel like I'll even throw in there defending Randall, who came like that after that first quarter. I was like, man, Randall's gonna like, he's fixing to kind of take a dump on our team. And like, it was that vibe where it's like, oh, this guy just wants to go out drinking and he wants to humiliate us before he does that. And OG was kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to be deterred. And I think outperformed Randall. Was all NBA player last year. He's a guy I'm interested to see what the league's response to him in general was. I wasn't totally surprised that he struggled in the playoffs. I feel like that's part of the arc of like really, really good players and number one options. But Graham, who's if it's OG as well, that's fine. If it's someone else, great. Who's impressing you the most so far?
I mean, there's really, I think if we're just gonna go like off the obvious ones, because Scotty Barnes is probably the one that's impressed me the most, but
yeah, he's a fair choice.
But Gary Trent is one that I really didn't know that he could be this big of a difference maker. It's just like just watching. When I went to the game, when I went to Madison Square Garden, just watching the Knicks fans around me, just appreciate what he's doing and take the wind out of the building. And he's quick. He's got it. You can say, oh, he's just trying harder, but it's a certain amount of like athleticism. Norm would always get low and try really hard on D, but he didn't have the instincts. It's just it's absolute chaos. Like the Knicks couldn't do anything. It was awesome. He's affecting everything. I mean, he only scores like 15 points a game. He had a great game on Monday, but 10, 15 points, let's say. But man, oh man, his plus minus must be crazy, and he's got to be considered for like the all defensive team, second all defensive team or something at this point. I mean, we're so early, but I can't. Teams are staggered. They don't know what's going on. They're not ready for it. They watch film, but like, I don't know. It's awesome.
Yeah,
to piggyback what Graham says, he's totally right, especially Gary defensively. And what I was going to say as well is that not even just like on the ball or even help defense, but there were certain moments in the third and fourth quarter when a Knick guard would be, say, if they were guarded by Freddie, Gary would come in for a double team. And I swear when if a Raptors team double teams you, it's like a triple team. It's worse than if any other team double teams you because there's just no way anything is going to happen. It got to the point where any double team just made the Knicks so scared. And there was a certain point at which like even like Julius Randle, he would get a switch onto Fred and be scared. And that's a total mismatch. But he just wouldn't take advantage of it. And on the other end, like Fred was taking a mismatch on Julius Randle all day, no problem. But like I think the defense clamped down so much that like, you know, double teams become triple teams and the Knicks just got scared.
Yeah. And I should say both of you guys were there. So we have some like firsthand accounts. Let me just ask you quickly, were you wearing Raptors gear?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes. There were three of us. I went with Nathan McIntosh and Alex Pavone.
Great crew.
We were all wearing something. Yeah. Pavone definitely. I mean, you knew that. And the guy probably had $10,000 on the game, but
he's taken us to a bodega on this podcast. I feel like people know.
Yeah, dude. At one point he called his friend, and because he was live at the game, and giving his friend play-by-play because his play-by-play over the phone was 3 seconds ahead of the live betting app that his buddy was using.
Oh my god.
And so he was like,
that's good stuff.
Freddie's lining up for a three. He got it. And he's like, click, click, click. Guys, like, click, 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 because before the line changes.
Oh my god.
And his buddy, I think somebody got a layup at the end to keep it within 10, and his buddy won 10 grand, and he's like, or 5 grand, or he went to even. He was gonna lose 5, and he went to even. Or he was gonna lose 10, and he went to 0. And I was like, buddy, this guy owes you $50. He's like, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Wow. All I can say is Pavone, stay safe out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't. I mean, yeah, you're whatever, man. Just be safe. That's all I can say.
At one point he was like, they're playing the samba, like because the music was loud.
Oh my god.
It's like it was so funny.
Oh man.
The people behind, but like there was a couple that it was whole row open, and the couple wouldn't move down, even though Yeah, they were just listening to this maniac screaming on his phone. Like, serves you right for not moving at least one seat over. Anyway.
Yeah, give Pavone some space. He doesn't use a mic when he does stand up. He's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I think Trent is like these are the perfect answers. My like Svi answer is sort of cute. I think Scotty's a perfect answer too. But like, as far as surprising, I remember when we first got Trent, you know, kind of reading up on it and thinking like, okay, this guy profiles as perhaps better than Norm, on offense, but like certainly better than Norm on defense because Norm kind of didn't have those instincts, but still this is definitely like, leading the league in deflections. Yeah. It's like he looks, or he profiles anyways, as the easy guy to score on in the Raptors lineup. So I feel like the fact that he is one of our very best defenders is absolutely insane. I think Fred is also playing incredible D, and Daniel, that's a huge point with our double teams. Like we're really, really stripping guys, and that goes into the whole, like, everyone's the same size and switchable, and do we need bigs and that kind of thing with this team, which is going to evolve. It's early days, but Svi was the guy for me. I think the fact that Scotty went out again, it's just one game. But the fact that watching him and Trent together and kind of just observing like the spacing, like a whole another version of this team. It's like, shit. Yeah. With Fred, OG, Svi, let's say Pascal and Gary, it's like that's an insane 3-point shooting lineup. And so it's nice to know that this team also has that. Like we're not just a cement hands defense team. Yeah, like we have scoring options too. So it's exciting. I think we're only going to get better. And let's keep moving. But actually, I think before we do, I want to quickly maybe I'll let you both kind of like explain it to me at the same time, and you can share the details. But what's going on with Bing Bong? Like what is it? Like what it's like? It's a New York thing you guys were saying. It has nothing to do with the movie Inside Out, right? Yeah. Matty D's got the clip, so can you play that, Matty?
It comes from like a popular TikTok and Instagram account called Side Talk, and their like intro and outro music is the noise from the New York subway when the doors close,
Okay.
and the noise is like ding ding.
Right. So that's the bing bong sound. And is that like bing bong, you're in, you're out, well, we can beat your ass type of like,
I
is
don't.
that the idea?
I think it's just funny, but the best is just. Are we about to play it?
Matty D, are
Yeah.
you gonna play this or what? Or I don't know.
Is it showing?
It was showing.
It was showing.
Hold on.
Listen, we put you on the spot here.
Yeah, sorry.
Folks,
Oh
this is
my
gonna be on
God.
YouTube, so check it out. This is a hot segment. Bing bong. The lights
I can't
are out,
stop
you know?
it.
Anyway,
Well, you could just say like, "This is what James Dolan doesn't want you to see."
Oh
You
my
know?
God.
Yeah, is there a chance that this is James? Actually, we should ask first. Matty D, are you safe? Is James Dolan in your house?
You put a blindfold around my webcam.
Yeah, it's that practical. It's like he doesn't have a tech way of doing it. He straight up just puts his thumb over your camera.
Yeah. It's a virus.
James, you're
It's a
81. Get out of my house, man.
So,
Well,
so
okay.
anyways,
Yeah.
to expand on what Graham was saying, is that in this video, it's a compilation of some very excitable Knicks fans after their season opening win against Boston.
Yeah.
Double overtime.
Double overtime. They acted like it was Game 7 of the finals, and so
Yeah.
one particularly excitable Knicks fan, all he says is just a quick second. He just goes "Bing bong," and so now it's become like memed. And Mike Breen dropped a "Bing bong" on the ESPN or ES Network, whichever one broadcast during a 3. On the jumbotron, they played the bing bong sound effect after a shot, and they have the text come up. So it's become like a rallying. It's become the "We the North" essentially for Knicks fans right now.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's with like a sense of humor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We the North is like respect us,
Exactly.
even
We're
though we're
the other-
Canadian.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's cool to be up here.
Exactly.
And Bing Bong is like, this is hilarious because it's just some guy. Because it's I don't think everyone who saw the video knows side talk, so they don't know that the guy in the video was doing the side talk noise, like bing bong. And so it's just, you see a guy just go bing bong, and people are like, what was that? And it just became like a thing.
Yeah.
I love it. I think this is why, people like it when the Knicks are good, because it's just like, you open Pandora's box of New York and weirdos doing weird, funny things.
Totally.
I think it's a great reference, Graham, by the Raptors are so scorned and self-serious and it's fun.
I don't think the
way.
organization is. I just think that it's like, maybe their marketing team is or whatever.
Right.
Or it's just it's a Canadian, a symptom of being Canadian is we're always going to be a little insecure.
Right.
Yes.
Defensive, perhaps. Maybe that's why our defense is so good.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, hey, here we go. Okay, I think Matty D is going to give us another bing bong.
Give it another shot.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got no sound.
No sound, but it looks nuts.
I think I may have memorized pretty much everything that these people said anyway, so I might be able to narrate it for you. This guy's great. He's like, we had Cuomo, we had de Blasio. It was tough shit. But then we got Knicks. Then we got Jesus here saying the Knicks were in New York. This guy was great. Bing bong. Oh, this guy's like, Katie, don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of Tom Brady slander because they beat the Celtics. So a lot of Tom Brady slander as well.
Yeah, there's a fuck Tom Brady chant because they beat the Celtics.
Yes. And at the very, very end, actually, it's great because a lot of anti-Boston stuff, fuck Boston, but at the very end, there was everyone participated in fuck Trae Young because they're still not over that first round exit.
Yeah.
That's just fun. Man.
Yeah,
that's good shit. Charlotte's not gonna ever throw down something not fun. You know what I mean?
No.
Memphis, you're not gonna get a crowd of people yelling random shit, and at the end have a guy say "bing bong." Maybe you will. You know what?
The way he does it is just really good. If you want, if you guys look it up later, he's just like bing, like he's in a rap video. He's just like bing bong.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. Gonna have to fully acquaint myself. Let's talk some NBA. But I think before we go, let's just take a quick pause here for an ad or a potential sponsor.
Wow.
Never know if it's going to happen.
Fingers
but,
crossed.
Fingers crossed. We're working our way up the corporate ladder here, folks. Late stage capitalism. Let's rock. Matty D, why don't you give me that delicious, weird Adam Silver NBA sounding sting?
This is Adam Silver.
Sick. Matty D, I want you to come in for this one. And let's start with you, Daniel. I think I do this like once a year just because I'm always interested in the answers. And I'm curious which direction you guys went. If the NBA were to expand, we've seen the NHL expand recently. And this isn't like, I don't even want to wade into like, should they expand, Just if they were to, I want you to pick a place that doesn't have a team, tell me their team name, tell me why this is the place. Dumb answers are absolutely welcome. Practical answers good too. Daniel, where's the new franchise coming in and what's it called?
Well, if you're looking for a dumb answer, I might have the winner because, I was thinking like, what's a big market in American city? I went American rather than Canadian for this answer.
Sure.
And a team, they have, here's a city that has an NHL team, an MLB team, an NFL team, and an NBA team. So it's like Pittsburgh, big market, it's they have I would assume a great fan base for the other teams. So then I was thinking to myself, because I love puns, it's like how many layers can this pun have? So Pittsburgh, what are they known for? Like steal. Oh, but also in basketball, you can get a steal. It's a defensive stat. So how about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's
and
good.
then I realized that there's already a football team called the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Same deal. Just Steve.
But this is
EA.
EA. SEALER.
Or what about this? Pittsburgh Basketball Steelers.
There you go. So what would the slogan be for not We the North? Maybe like we the A's. No, because there's an A in there. I don't know. That makes no sense.
I've been to Pittsburgh once and I had that one sandwich where you get, it's like it's a bunch of beef. It's like hamburger and bread. Listen, if you're from Pittsburgh,
delicious.
The sandwich. If you're not from Pittsburgh, I just sound like a delirious man. But this sandwich would be a big part of their franchise. Sorry.
For sure. They would throw it on the court if, whatever the equivalent of a hat trick is.
Right.
Just like octopuses in Detroit. So, but I thought, okay.
Throw it on the court every 3.
Yes, every 3. So I thought maybe Steelers, maybe that could work. But in the same vein, what about like steel mills? How about the Pittsburgh Millers? So it's all like mill workers.
Okay.
The mascot could be like a mill worker, but then also the team is entirely populated by people with the last name Miller. So you have Reggie Miller, maybe head coach, his sister as the GM, Brad Miller, assistant coach, Andre Miller, another assistant coach. So it's a team, organization of all Millers.
Okay.
And that's the vibe.
Steve Miller Band, welcome.
Yes, totally. They can play the halftime show every show. Are there any other NBA Millers that I missed?
I don't think so. I feel like you got all the Millers. There's a lot.
There's a lot of Millers. A lot of middling Millers.
A lot of middling Millers. A lot of Williams. Okay, Graham, where's your city? What's the team? What's the vibe?
Well, I think St. John's, Newfoundland is the only
Here we go.
smart option. I mean,
smart as hell.
Yeah. I think you want to go where the money is, and you want to go where no one can get to. They have they could be called the icebergs, and they could win a lot of games because a lot of teams their plane would have to turn around because of the weather.
Yeah, like they just couldn't come. Yeah,
get a lot of forfeits, a lot of default wins. They have a sellout crowd of 7,000 every night. Mostly to stay warm and get out of the rain. Yeah, freezing rain. Fresh. You would have the best crowds honestly the best crowds. They're like the most fun people in the world. There be a lot of drinking, and yeah, I think either that or I do think honestly Vancouver could work, and
Mhm.
I do think, but I don't think Vancouver will ever get a team again because Seattle's going to get a team.
Yeah.
They're going to get OKC or something, and they're going
I can see
to,
that.
and then, but I think I do think Montreal could work. I think Montreal could have another sports franchise.
I think Montreal is definitely like they're on the list. I don't know if they're like where they are or whatever, but they're there. St. John's, I love. I think they have like a Canadian Basketball League team, and I actually think that there has been a lot of technical issues with people getting there.
Yeah.
It's come from away all the time over there.
Yeah. The St. John's Maple Leafs couldn't survive. It's hockey.
I know.
I don't know.
Oh man, listen, I love you, Newfoundland. I'm sorry, but like you're the big rock. Okay, it's not easy.
Beautiful people, great comedy
folks.
crowds.
Long ferries to play games. They'd have a good record.
I think the only answer is Saint Pierre de Miquelon.
Yes, yeah, France in Canada.
Yeah,
That's
France
that's
in
what we-
Canada.
The icebergs, they would hit a lot of floaters though.
There you go.
Oh, hey. Is that a little jab at the Titanic? Take that, Titanic.
Yeah.
Okay. Matty D, what's up? Where are we going? What's the team? What's the name?
Okay, well, like Graham, I am sticking to Canada, and the reason that I want to do that is I want the next team to be a place in Canada that people are going to hate more than, like players that have a problem with coming to Toronto for whatever reason. So, like, it has to be somewhere that I wouldn't want it to go back to Vancouver because it's too pretty there. But I think that if we put the team in Saskatchewan and we call them like the Regina Husk, and it's like, hey, we're going heavy on the corn theme, like lots you can do with it. Popcorn, high fructose syrup, like they're gonna love stuff like that. And you know what? I want to do a bit of a Ted Lasso story, a hometown kid to be the coach in Mike Babcock is going to be the coach of the team.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good start for them.
Yeah.
He's going to
give him
Ted Lasso over into basketball. And yeah, like it would be interesting to see that. He would he'd berate players and rookies and stuff like that, and make them feel like shit.
He'd berate players. He'd be fucked up. No worries.
He's really tough on his own players.
You get wins too, because you get a lot of extra wins too, just from you've heard of the Miami flu. Well, have you heard of the actual flu?
Yeah,
just gonna get a bad cold.
Yeah, so that's where I'd like to put the next one anyway. Regina Husk, I think. I can already see the logo. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know if it's just like a piece of like a corn in a husk wearing sunglasses, whatever. Doesn't matter. Any piece of corn will look good. So
corn's tall too. So
exactly, yeah.
That's a good point.
Like we have the little tiny raptor that likes to inflate. Like it could be like a huge, like a 20-footer mascot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If you're in the boardroom, or if it was me and you, I'd be like, hold on. Let my buddy tell you about how tall corn is.
Yeah.
And then, you take it home from there. Like
corn's tall, man.
Let me tell you how tall corn. The guy's like, wow, that is a good idea.
Yeah. It's like, yo, your buddy's jacked, man. Yeah. Let's get this ownership group going. Well, I think as usual, I have the worst answer to my own question. I was basically just, I'm going with the U.S. here. I was trying to look at regions that, don't like, there's just a big geographical area with no team. And I feel like since I've done it before on this pod, I've actually done, Canadian teams or Mexico City a couple times. So I'm just going, it's not even a population thing. There's no reason. I'm glad Graham said St. John's because this is my territory for this question. I'm going Billings, Montana. And that's just looking at a map. I feel like a lot of people could travel to that. Same deal, 7,000, rocking every night. and they'd be called the Billings money. So it'd be like
That's good.
bills, money, and that's basically it. So I don't know if there's corn there as well, but Matty D, I'd want to bring you along for the pitch.
I can, yeah.
You could get wheat. You could be wheat.
Wheat, like
Yeah.
I hope wheat is also tall.
Wheat against corn.
Can be.
It would be a real rivalry.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah, that would be my angle.
Yeah.
Like maybe I would be, like not even
who
be
makes the best
aggressive.
tortilla? You know, that's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, we got tortillas. No matter your celiac preference,
Yeah.
like.
Well, if they play together, it's like the tortilla bowl.
Mhm.
There you go.
There you go.
Maybe me and Max is
yes.
like a shared thing. Like Tampa and Montreal are gonna share
Yeah.
Just two franchises
Reis or whatever?
with not one free agent signing.
yeah, no one ever comes. Yeah.
Svi is like, I'll play in Latvia. No, thank you.
Yes, Fee's like, I'm just cracking the rotations now in the NBA. It's my dream. But if this is where I'm going, you can send me back to Europe, folks.
I'm out.
Okay, let's keep this train moving. I feel like I could do that segment like once a pod. I just love the answers for it. All right, let's go to you, Graham. Yeah, start this baby off. This is just open to interpretation as well. Like, what's the weirdest, like the funkiest team? Like, if you've been like court surfing a little bit, like what team are you like, man, this team, I don't know. They're like weird. It could be weird bad or weird good. Just like you don't understand them.
I mean, I guess I was looking at for the one that jumped out most is the Celtics. I just think it's so sad.
Good answer.
They depress me. They depress me every year. I think the league's more exciting when they're good, and they're bad. They have two great players, and they play ISO. Marcus Smart is an idiot, but he was right.
Mm-hmm. He is right.
He is right. You don't say that in public. I don't know. You're trying to like. He's acting like he's their big brother, and they're like actively better than he is by a lot.
Quite a bit better, yeah.
So it's like, shut up. The coach will do that, So it's just sad. I get depressed every time I watch them. I think it's too early to say the Suns aren't going to be that good this year. Clippers are another depressing team to watch. I think the Lakers are really the weird. I'm sorry, I'm naming every team. I'm going to stick with the Celtics.
Convo. It's good.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are always weird to watch because you don't know if they're going to be absolute trash or good from game to game. Like they're like, ooh, are they like an all-time team one game, and then you're like, is this a sad YMCA team of just 38-year-old dudes being like, I'm good. And then you watch them realize they're not, they've lost their skills in front of their own eyes,
Yeah. Yeah. Lakers are like super funky to me. Boston is really funky to me. I feel like, one of my, I guess, like hotter takes this year is that the Clippers weren't going to make the playoffs.
That's a great take. I just
feel like, I've never been a big Reggie Jackson fan, and you need a super, at least, competent point guard to run your show. I feel like Schroeder, and Smart are not exactly gonna do what they need for the Celtics, but I also feel like that I'm a huge Jaylen Brown fan, and I feel like Tatum and Brown will be able to kind of like, especially in the East, make it work. The Lakers, though, too, are really weird to me. The Suns, I'm the same as you, Graham. I think they're going to just kind of start to figure it out because they look good. I don't think they were an accident. You still haven't touched on my team yet. So I want to see if Daniel were the same. Who's your funky team?
Well, I'm going to say a team that I also saw on the weekend. I went to Philadelphia to see the Hawks and the Sixers.
Nice.
I go to Philly at least once a year because the tickets are real cheap and it's a great city to walk around in and eat some great food. But my answer is going to be the Hawks. The Hawks did not have a good game. They got smoked by the Sixers. And I feel like, heading into the season, the consistent narrative that everyone had about the Hawks were, well, two really. One was that, like, can they keep this streak going under Nate McMillan, because they had such a hot end to the last season and they did so well in the playoffs, really overperformed. Can they keep that going? But also, like, oh, the problem is that they have too much talent. They have too many good guys and they can't pay them all. And there's too many good guys to play. How are you going to do it? And that ended up being kind of the opposite problem, because Trae Young did not have a good game. And no one else really stepped up enough to fill that void. Cam Reddish was the only guy who really showed any energy at all. And he was the guy that was injured for a lot of last season, or past 2 seasons, really. And I just felt like there was no flow, no like sense of direction, no cohesion to the way that Atlanta played that game. And, they're not at the bottom of the barrel this year at all, but I think that a lot of people penciled them in to finish 3rd in the East. And after only like 8 games, I think they've only played 7 or 8 games. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think I had the Hawks as like my, kind of like fifth team in a kind of sort of like a tier by themselves. I had Brooklyn and the Bucks kind of 1 and 2, and then the Heat and Sixers 3 and 4. But this is before the season. Obviously, things are going to change fast, and it's still early days. But the Hawks, I think they'll round into form, but they do maybe have some kind of like redundancy on their team. I'm a Trae Young believer. I feel like he'll be able to adjust to whatever's going on with the fouling and the ref changing. My funky team, though, like the team I feel like I really don't quite understand, is the Nuggets. I feel like I was thinking they were going to come back even without Murray, kind of like a house on fire, kind of like the Jazz, and sort of just be like, all right, fine. We still have to prove ourselves in the playoffs, but we do know how to just like dummy the regular season. So I kind of thought they were going to just be off and running. And then the other team is the T-Wolves. Like, I feel like there's a lot of development going on there, and they have more talent than they've had, but also like they don't know how to win exactly. So it seems like, I don't know. I feel like the T-Wolves are just a funky team, because I'm in the camp where I think Towns people have gotten to a point where they're kind of sleeping on how good Towns is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still not translating into wins necessarily. And they're in the West. So just a weird team, I guess.
Isn't he like the greatest shooting big man of all time, percentage wise?
Yeah.
Some crazy
He is.
stat
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
like better than Dirk. Like,
Yeah.
but also, I mean, I'm always kind of torn between like how much like winning matters, or how much you can affect winning as one player.
Yeah.
It's always an interesting question in basketball, but I do think, at the end of the day, like that's what you're trying to do. So
That's Paul George.
yeah, I mean, exactly. Like Paul George to me is
Poor guy. All he's
really-
ever tried to do is play with somebody.
I know, really.
Can't do it.
That goes all the way back to the Pacers, like,
Yeah.
before that situation blew up, like,
Yeah.
Paul George, man, definitely. Like, I mean, if to me, he's proof that the NBA is like really hard, and that if you just want to scapegoat people, it's not the full story. Cause like, if he finishes his career without going to the finals or whatever, I'm sure lots of people are going to say he was like crap, or, is not good. And like that to me is insane. Like he's just such a good player on both ends. And I mean, I watched them beat the highlights of them beating OKC, and I was like, shit, this is a big game for the Clippers. Like they got to show up and beat OKC. And like, I was feeling sorry for Paul George, kind of like, but whatever, they got it done. They did beat them.
They beat Poku somehow, somewhere.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
I know. If you beat Poku, it's like, oh God. But if you lose to Poku, it's like, oh man, I should crawl in a hole. Okay, let's finish this baby up. Do some quickish questions. Maddie, good sir, I know you're there. Why don't you give me that weird audio sounding quickish questions sting?
Quickish Questions.
We've made it to quickish questions. I read through the questions today. They're not necessarily quickish. That's okay. You got to answer as quick as you possibly can. I'm going to read through these babies as clearly as I possibly can. We'll see what happens. You know, I might stutter, slur, panic, misread a comma. That's okay. You got to answer. Just let your brain fire off. You can't repeat a question. Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking at Maddie D for creative ways to stall. I mean, one day we're just gonna this is gonna turn from like a joke to like a fist fight, and people are gonna be like, "What's your guys' deal?" Like, we're on a podcast together. Yeah. Okay. Let's do Graham, Daniel, Maddie. Here we go. Graham.
Yes, I'm nervous.
Do you think the way someone talks about the Raptors is a reflection of how they feel about themselves? I see so many negative fans these days, even though there's so much to be positive about.
I think definitely this year, yes. Yes. You should be happy this year. If you're not, you got to do some work on yourself.
Agreed. Daniel, just a comment. Respond to it. Today is the day Delano goes for 13, 10, and 10.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good
Maddie,
one.
propose a
Yes.
realistic trade the Raptors should pursue.
Dragic for Porzingis, and we'll
Ugh.
throw in we'll throw in conditional second in 2023.
For Porzingis?
Yeah.
I love Graham's utter disgust. I love Maddie D adding in stuff. Okay, Graham. Raptors. Okay, well, we asked this a little bit, but you could just take another go at it. Raptors' biggest surprise so far.
That they have a winning record.
Yeah, fairly big surprise.
Yeah.
agreed.
I'm gonna say, are we biggest surprise like player? I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, it's just open to interpretation.
Biggest surprise. It's a good point. Okay, Banton.
You got the
I
Maddie
guess.
D sting.
Banton.
What's that?
Everyone's excited about Banton. I'm excited about Banton.
Yeah, Banton. Another good answer. Daniel. Are GTJ's Gary Trent Jr.'s hands in the new Matrix movie?
Yes, and he can hold so many red pills and blue pills in each one of them. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, his hands are like, not because they're quick. He's just big hands holding pills.
Yes.
Stock hand model. I like that. Okay, Maddie.
Yeah.
It's quickish questions. Okay, that's your warning. Discuss Malachi.
Oh, poor Flynn. I think that it's tough when you see Scotty coming through the way he has. I think that's been pretty surprising and amazing. And I don't know. I just don't know how he's going to overpower to get back, into, maybe he's the next PG of the future. I don't know. I feel like the Scotty show's got to die down a bit.
Thanks for discussing Malachi. Graham.
Yes.
What big, however unrealistic the trade scenario, would fit like a glove? Like, whatever big, like a big man. However unrealistic the trade scenario would fit like a glove with this Raptor squad, meaning they'd be like actually effective.
Oh God. I mean, I don't know. What's his name in Miami?
Adebayo?
Adebayo. Yeah, Bam.
Bam would be
Bam.
good.
Yeah.
Bam. Emerald Lagasse's tag. His phrase. Shout out to Emerald Lagasse on
Emerald?
Wait, what's his name?
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
For a
does say
second, I was like, Andre Agassi?
Yeah. Okay,
Tennis
we're
player?
we're all over the place. JJ Redick. Okay. All right, that joke didn't even confuse things more. Okay, you know what? Daniel. Which two Raptors would deliver the best pro wrestling double clothesline?
Scotty, because he could do both clotheslines by himself with his crazy wingspan. You don't even need a second Raptor.
Wow.
Just
so
do-
it's just like
yeah.
it's like the JaVale McGee dunk, but like in a weird way he connects. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Maddie,
Yeah.
the ratio of free throw attempts to field goal attempts is breaking the record set in the 1946-1947 season, which means, there's less free throws than there's been in a long time. How much do you attribute this to the Raptors' success, considering they led the league in fouls last year?
Interesting. I think I understand this. They led the league in fouls, so they're not giving up as many free throws, right?
That's right.
I think that definitely helps, but I mean it's early, so things could straighten out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and there's a good question because this team is all arms and we're slapping dudes. So for sure it benefits us.
I think it also benefits specifically someone like OG. If he doesn't have to worry about foul trouble, then he can be way more confident in his offense.
Yeah.
And I don't know, as a fan, I always think that OG gets called for too many fouls unfairly. But, on Monday, he only had 3 fouls and he was just able to play with ease and with confidence. So I think certain players are they talk about, James Harden, Trae Young, they don't get to the line as much because of the new calls. But I think the players that are defensive minded, I think that's going to open things up for them a lot more.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, guys, that's Quickish Questions. That's the pod. Thank you both for joining. This was a good time. We persevered even though Facebook Messenger was down. Chick got nuts. St. John's, what's up? Pack the house 7,000.
Can I say one thing? I'm sorry.
Sure, please.
I think a thing that I would like, a big surprise for me is that Matt Devlin still is saying OG oh my as a call.
Yeah, that's old. Yeah, wrap it up, Matty.
His name is OG. It's the coolest possible name, and you're going with like a 1950s reference. It's original gangster. You somehow made it's like who are you trying to impress? The fucking Hardy Boys? I don't understand.
OG oh my, let's
OG oh my.
Yeah.
God.
And you know what? Shout out to Matty D for the game before the Knicks game. Man, that voice was on the ropes. Like that.
Sure.
If anyone who was listening, that Pacers game.
What the hell happened to him?
He was in Jack like full croak territory. He was like Sabonis.
Yeah.
Come on. I love you. Like he was like literally fans were sending in like pray for Matty shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I like Matty D. That's one thing that
I like
drives me
him
nuts.
too. Yeah. I mean,
He could use some fisherman's friend, just
He
talk,
could use some
reach
fisherman's
over
He
the
did
nurse.
some too. He did.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about Matty D, let me just forever say, you never seen it. Not download. Go to YouTube, Matty D, Punjabi, one of the best calls I've ever seen in any game. Pages to Akvich is going to hit a 3. And I guess Matty D had to do a Raptors Punjabi fan segment. So the word Punjabi's on his brain and he just yells it out. And it's wonderful TV. It's like, and just on 30 seconds of silence, Leo comes in and he's like, pardon me, Matt. Just please, YouTube Punjabi, Matt Devlin, you won't be disappointed. Okay, yeah, we've made it to the end of the pod. This was a good one. Graham, let me go to you first. I mean, you're in New York. We got some American listeners, but in general, like, where can people check you out? Where can they listen to your album? Albums, all that.
You can. My albums are on Spotify if you want to listen to those for free. Follow me on Instagram, Mr. Graham K, and on TikTok. I guess I go on there, see what the kids are up to, and just follow me on Instagram, Mr. Graham K. That's it.
Follow this dude on Instagram. He's hilarious.
I post my shows. I post where my shows are, and I also post like some funny stuff every once in a while. I give it a shot,
This guy's funny. He's being humble. His attempts at being funny are good ones. They're not just whatever. Some people try to be funny and it's not great. I don't know why I'm taking swipes at other comedians. Graham's great.
Thanks, buddy.
Daniel, what's up? Where can people check you out? What's going on with the Criterion Collection?
So yeah, subscribe to the Criterion channel, our streaming channel. We've got tons of great stuff coming out every month. And then in terms of basketball related content, we are releasing Uncut Gems on Blu-ray and 4K UHD, I think this month. So, I mean, one of the great recent basketball movies. And
Yeah.
I guess we should get your friend Pavone to do a commentary on it. Sounds like he was living his own Uncut Gems at the game on Monday from what Graham was talking
Listen, hook up Graham and the Criterion or hook up Pavone and the Criterion Collection, please. If he did it, I would listening to him commentate that game would be so good.
What the fuck is Rosebud?
Yeah. Oh wait, are you just going to like Citizen Kane?
Yeah, he's on the Criterion Collection. I don't know.
I love how he goes straight to an old classic. He's like, "What are all these birds? Hitchcock's tripping me out,
Buddy, it's nuts.
Buddy, it's nuts." Shout out Pavone, just a
Birds
great
are
man.
scary, it turns out.
Honestly, Nathan too. That whole crew, the commentary on honestly any movie, but Uncut Gems would be amazing. Guys, thanks for doing the pod. For everyone who's been listening, sharing, all that, all those positive things that podcasters say, we do appreciate it. We've been growing for a couple months straight, pretty steadily. So we really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. And I feel like we're good to go. Maddie, if you feel like we're good to go, give me those delicious words. Okay.
Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.